And right now, we're going to go to our man, Teddy Kekstadt, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour. Folks, you can check out Teddy's outstanding Tiger Forex Report. It's right under the newsletter tab. Head on over to the front page of TFNN. You hit the subscribe button. You're talking about $97. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So check it out. You get the newsletter for a month. If it's not something you're going to use, you gain the knowledge, you cancel, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can't go wrong with the type of education the newsletter he puts out every week. Teddy Kekstadt, good morning.
Good morning. It's freezing cold in Chicagoland, man. It's a long underwear sweatshirt day.
Uh-oh, what are we talking about when we talk Windy City, man? We talking single digits? Where are we? I know that wind
right
is
now,
remarkable out there.
It's finally gotten up to 4 degrees, and it's like a negative 10-degree wind chill factor.
Oh, you know, Boston's cold, Teddy, but man, I always hear the stories Chicago cold seems like it's a different kind of cold, and it is by those numbers. Well, thanks for tuning in. Stay warm. What do you think about this market, Teddy? We got the dollar chopping around 107, right? We got yields at 4.58. No huge moves just yet, but what are you looking at in this market most of all right now?
Yeah, it's kind of a quiet day today. I think we're waiting on the unemployment claims tomorrow. It's kind of a lackluster numbers week, you know. There was a couple swing trades over the past couple of days, but if you really look at the ranges, they haven't been that exciting, especially what's going on today. So I would be very careful with what's going on as far as the currencies are concerned today. I mean, there's really not much of a movement going on, and we can talk about, I think if you're going to look at something, let's take a look at the yen real quick. So
nice.
The U.S. dollar yen, yesterday it was higher, and now it's basically made a little bit high than from yesterday's move off of the lower low that they had set. But you're basically an inside day almost, just a little bit outside on the high end, but not outside on the low end. So it's a choppy trade. I mean, if you really look at where we've been over the past, Monday was a holiday trade. Yesterday there was a couple nice little trades, but if you look at the actual what there was to gain on a swing trade, it wasn't a lot. There's not a lot of money on the table. So I think you got to really kind of pick your points and have rational expectations, and don't try and pick a major move. Like I got some people on my one streaming channel, some people are always itching for trades, and I always throw out like the new ones. I'm like, hey, patience is all about how this game is, won. I'm like, if you want to just force a trade and do whatever, I'm like, you go right ahead and do that. I'm like, I have no problem capitalizing off of your kind, So I
think, and I agree completely, man. It's a great point. The mental aspect. I mean, there's so many aspects, but the mental aspect of risk, and we all want to find profitable trades. So there's almost like a bias, right, to want to trade, to want, because if you're not trading, you're not making money. But guess what? Sometimes there's no opportunity, and that would lead to losses. But it's always a battle. But it's a great point, man, because we all deal with it. I know we do. Hey, how about crude? We got a little bit of a bid in crude right now. We're climbing towards $73. I know I always check out your newsletter, man. You cover crude. You have upward areas, downward. We're climbing a little bit. What do you think of crude? 72.77 right now.
I like the low that they planted yesterday, and a new swing low. And right now we're back up kind of in the middle of the range that it's been in for the past 2 weeks. I look at it as a sell rally, profit-taking move. I think that we made a lower move low. Now I think we're going to go and set maybe a lower move high. I don't see any big extreme. Maybe we get back up to 74 and then fall back down again. So, I think that it's going to be, we're not going to just crash down to lower prices in oil, but there's no reason in the world right now for us to go spiking higher. There's not a fundamental reason. There's not any momentum, technically or anything. There's nothing short of some sort of, God forbid, an accident, that
Sure.
I could see that would cause a spike in oil. Obviously, if there was a refinery issue or something like that, then we could see something like that. But right now it seems that it's just steady as it goes. It's not a sexy trade. It's not going to be the high flying, market that it has been. I think right now it's going to be a grind, basically making, lower lows and lower highs, but it's not going to be an excessive trend. The slope is going to be very, very, it's going to be a bunny slope. You're not going to be skiing down a double black diamond on this one.
I got to go skiing, man. I see all these. I was just thinking, you get me. I used to ski all the time in the Northeast, steady up in, some great mountains, of course, in the Northeast. Never really made it to Colorado. But being in Florida now, I don't want 4 degrees, Teddy, all right? I don't want 4 degrees skiing. I want like 34 degrees skiing, but we got to make it up there skiing. Hey, big picture, right? We got tariff headlines, of course, today, but that talking about autos, talking about maybe April 2nd. That's really far out, I think, in terms of how things are going right now, moving so quickly. 6 weeks out, there's a lot that can move. But I just was thinking, getting ready to talk to you this morning, bigger picture. What goes through your mind when you look, because obviously they matter, right? Trump got elected. We had the dollar surges higher from that move. What are you thinking right now as we're it's February 19th, so we're almost a full month. And what do you think generally? Is there anything that goes through your head, or you're just kind of pushing out the noise? Or I just want to get your take generally. We're getting a lot of tariff headlines. They, of course, are potentially going to impact currencies. What do you think in the big picture right now on that?
Oh, I love it. I mean, as far as the economy, I think long-term it's going to have a tremendously positive effect for the American consumer, the American businesses. We're already going through pain. And the reality is, Americans are looking at everything on a one-sided picture. They think about themselves and what we're doing, but they don't even realize what we are doing in half of the situation, especially when it comes to cross-country economics. The reality is that all of our goods there's tariffs on everything that we send out overseas to everywhere. And they're not just like 10%, 25%. I mean, Canada has upwards of 400% on some of the things that we export to them. But we don't export much to any of these countries overall. But everything is tariffed like huge. So there's no incentive for our products to be sold anywhere. You remove those, guess what? Competition breeds good pricing. That also keeps their price of their goods in those countries where they don't have as much money very high. Guess what? They take the tariffs off of our goods. They have to drop the prices on their goods in their country. Competition brings fair pricing. That means more business for our companies, better pricing globally for everybody, both in America and in other countries. The consumer wins. You know who loses? The politicians. Those are the ones who lose. So they can't, because that's who gets the money. It doesn't go to the
hopefully that plays out, because I think we're all on board with that equation. And I try and look at things through the lens of Tommy, which is great. And everybody should, no matter what, longer term, right? It doesn't really matter. We can all be okay in a year or two. And I say that, of course, there's hardships, but longer term. And so, I hope for that, man. We'll see.
I think,
as traders, Teddy, I say we got a two-way market in a lot of markets right now. Even with the S&P sitting at all-time highs, we got rallies, we got declines. We have NVIDIA losing $1 trillion in market cap, man, over the course of X amount of days. So we got some volatility, which as traders, I like it, man. Well, Teddy, I appreciate the time as always, man. Great to talk to you. Stay warm in that windy city, man. We appreciate it as always.
If things go right with the tariffs, there was that bottle of Coke you spent $3 for. Maybe little Tommy will be spending $1 when he's your age.
Well, I want bottled water cheap too. No Coke for it. No, I kid. But I know, right? Crazy. I think about two. Yeah, Teddy. Thanks so much, man. Have a great week, Teddy. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, man.
Bye-bye.